Okay, so it's had a long political history. Okay, the story is that the MPEG people evaluate the codec, they like it a lot, and instead of doing their own MPEG 4, MPEG 5 or whatever, they say, okay, you guys are so good, why don't you become, why don't we just adopt this codec and make it part 10 of MPEG 4. Okay, so there is an MPEG 4 that they worked on earlier, which has wavelet technologies in it too, okay, which doesn't really perform too well. So they finally decide to adopt this thing. Okay, so this is so 8.264 is known either as 8.264 or MPEG 4 part 10. All right?
Chad?
Yes.
You mentioned about this political fight, so maybe you can explain a little bit to the people what the motivation behind all of this, political push from the company's perspective.
Mainly from the industry viewpoints. A lot of the participants in these international standardization committee comes from the industry. Okay, and they have their own agenda in terms of who should win and who should not win, and what part of the proposal. There's fierce competition, right? Okay, everyone wants their technology in it, and want to block the competitors' technologies out of it. Okay, and there's voting and ballots and everything. Okay, there's a small competition between the MPEG people and the ITU people. There are a few participants that happen to participate in both. But other than that, there are people that just do MPEG alone, and there are people just do ITU 8.26 alone. Okay, and they have a friendly competition back and forth. Okay. So for a short period of time, MPEG 4 outperformed 8.263 Plus by a little bit. So they are the leading video codec. Okay. And then the ITU people come up with these things that outperform MPEG 4. So it's go back and forth. It's not mainly friendly in nature. Okay, but if there is competition, it's like what I said. You try to promote your company's technology, and you have a certain amount of bias. So the MPEG 4 people, sometimes in 2004, set up an official quality control check on 8.264, and they noticed that their own MPEG 4 codecs is lagging behind quite a bit. So instead of, so basically they raise the white flag. Okay, they say, okay. If it's 2-3 dB like this, there's just nothing we can do. So this seems to be working out well, and this might have this seems to meet MPEG 4 requirements. So let's adopt this thing as part of the standard. Okay, so that you need to go to the meetings to notice these things. And as far as I know, we don't have any Vietnamese participation whatsoever. Okay, in this standardization committee. We might have a few overseas Vietnamese who works for other companies, happens to be jumping in and out of international standards. But now, there are some academic people in these international standards as well, okay? Because it's an open call for proposal, right? So if your lab has the latest video codec and you would like to participate, then go ahead and submit. Now, pay attention that you actually have to go to the meetings, every meetings. You have to lobby for your technology. You have to make friends with other people. So otherwise, you will never win. Okay? Otherwise, you never win, because people will find out a way to kick you out. Okay? So it's you have to really participate and set yourself up as a major contender in the field before you get acceptance and becomes a standard. Now, as I said, typically different modules, okay, different part of the algorithms get adopted, not the entire algorithm. Nobody in the history of standardization committees actually come up with a codec that will be holding true throughout the entire 6 or 7 years that it takes. Okay, so typically add these features in, take these features out, that kind of thing, and it involves a lot of experimentation. So it's pretty much the terms that I talk to my graduate student all the time. That a lot of things in video coding seems to be software tuning. Okay, you need to tweak parameters, and you just keep on tweaking parameters here, there. Keep on tweaking until you come up with a set of parameters that seems to be working pretty well. Okay, so that's what people do pretty much all day. Okay, now the coding framework, there's not much difference between framework-wise. H.264 is very similar to what we studied before. Okay, same old things: DCT, motion estimations, residue, encoding the residue. Okay, but there are a few keys. Okay, there are a few main features that really set it apart. Okay, it has some of these are new features for H.264. First of all, there's a compression improvement. Second, they have integer transform in there that allows you to do exact integer to the integer mapping.
Indicate interests he has, his location. There's automatically generated a list of...
Thing about this transform, anybody see? Symmetric basis functions, very good. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. This is orthogonal. Has integers coefficients. Integer coefficients. Right? Right? So you can perform the transformation using integer arithmetic. You don't need any. You can even implement this using without any multiplication, right? So you can do it pretty fast. And this is one of the innovations. Okay, we actually participate in this thing. So this is something taken from our BinDCTs, or the binary approximation of this. Now, so this transform is requires only 16-bit arithmetic, okay, and it has been expanded to 8x8 for other sizes. Now, the quantization has a lookup table. Okay, so basically they quantize everything using one single delta. Okay, the step size. But the delta, the relationship between the step size, the delta, okay, with the number you actually input into the codec is this table. Okay, so they want to increase, they want finer control of the bit rate by having quantization step size to be non-integers. Okay, the quantization step size here is non-integers, right? It has small increments. Okay? Oh, there's a typo. This should come before that. Okay, but yeah, it says they want small increments so that you can finally control the bit rate coming out. Okay? Innovation number 2, intra-prediction. This is huge. This is one of the main reason why it's doing so well. It has directional predictions of pixels.